Hi, it's Rebecca Marina Messenger, and I'm here in my friend's backyard. However, I've been getting messages from Sri Yukteswar, who was the master teacher of Yogananda, and he's got a lot of wisdom to share. Now, Sri Yukteswar is on the astral planes at present. Some of us might refer to the astral planes as heaven. But I have a very interesting message I think you will enjoy listening to. And I'm reading this. I journal every morning, and that's usually when I get messages. Sometimes I channel live. And today, I'm reading what I got this morning. So, Sri Yukteswar says, each soul enters the astral plane at the level they are ready for, and they can be sent by their choice back here to Earth or to another level of the astral plane. Once they reach the causal plane, which is a higher plane than the astral plane, they can still be sent back to either Earth or the astral plane. Usually, once they reach the causal plane, they do not choose to come to Earth anymore. Instead, they usually choose to go to another level of astral plane to work out any remaining kinks, as it were. Now, this is interesting. Many of the modern day prophets, seers, messengers are here from the causal plane, as they have evolved to the point to be of immense value to us as humanity. These advanced beings have many friends in the causal world and can be of great benefit to anyone who recognizes them, asks for, and accepts their blessing. Many of the short-lived martyrs and heroes are from the causal world. They came to this plane to make a huge difference in a short length of time. Sometimes this difference is in a surprising way. An evolved soul may volunteer to come and experience extreme poverty in order to awaken sympathetic chords in the hearts of men. Next time you see the face of a starving child peering at you from the glossy pages of some magazine, know that it is very likely a highly evolved being, soul, placing themselves in that position for a greater cause. Remember that the highest attainment of any being has is to gain attention from the powerful magnetics of the human heart. I've been given many teachings about this. If you subscribe to my channel, you'll run into them. It is true that humanity does not recognize or honor the very great thing that they possess, the powerful magnetics of a human heart. Properly harnessed, can accomplish great things. Now, this is really a conversation between me and Sri Yukteswar, because you know what? I didn't like the way that sounded. What do you mean, harness? I don't like that word. And by the way, when you're talking with a being of light, you don't have to sit there and go, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. You can have a conversation. Why do you think they're bringing messages to you? So you can lift up others. So, my question is, I don't like that word harness. Can you explain that a bit further? And Sri Yukteswar says, yes, we can interchange the offensive word to you, Rebecca, of harness, and we can use the word applied or applied wisdom. The first step in applied wisdom is to honor the heart. Honor the heart above all things. Rebecca, you have taught on this before. Your mission and everyone else's purpose is disguised as the desires of your heart. Honor the true, deep desires, and you will be victorious in your quest for advancement in this incarnation. So I say, Sri Yukteswar, can you tell me about the blessings of a master? Earlier he had mentioned that it's very beneficial to seek the blessings of a master. And as a matter of fact, in India, they know this very well. So, here in the USA, we're not so familiar with seeking the blessings of a master. Sri Yukteswar answers, yes, when you recognize and honor a living master, guru, prophet, or messenger, you may ask for their blessing and obtain great benefit from this. And so I say, well, why? What powers do they have? And Sri Yukteswar kind of chuckles and says, Rebecca, it's not so much powers as connection. A highly evolved personage has many connections. They have been rubbing elbows with deities, with countless advanced beings of light. It's like joining the good old buddy club. Not only does the blessing give you access to favoritism of the master, but his or her entire lineage and other intimate connections. For instance, connecting with Yogananda gives you access to me, Sri Yukteswar. Remember, he's conversing with me. Who gives you access to blessings of Lahiri, who gives you access to Babaji, and so on and so on. And I'm just going to, this isn't written, but I'm going to interrupt our conversation a moment to say that, beloveds, ignorance is what keeps you stuck. When you have knowledge that you can ask for and receive blessings of a master, then it's all the difference in the world than not realizing the gift that a master, a messenger, a guru can give you. For years and years, I never accepted any guru. I simply get my information directly from divine source. And then Sri Yukteswar came to me and asked me to bring messages from him. And I am a channel. I do channel for Divine Mother and other beings of light. And I said yes. And not only did I say yes, but I accepted him as my Sat Guru, as my teacher in spirit. And then he started bringing others to me. I'll give you one example. Dr. Pillai from India is my flesh and blood teacher. So, let me continue with what Sri Yukteswar has to say. The great treasure for the devotee is to recognize this connection and ask for the blessing. And so, well, I want to know, what good is this, Sri Baby? And by the way, I'm a little irreverent, so he loves it. What sort of things would one expect from asking for the blessing of one of these advanced souls disguised as messengers, gurus, teachers, prophets? And Sri Yukteswar says, the greatest blessings occur at a soul level. The greatest blessing is for the deepest desires of the heart to manifest into fruition. Remember, it is unfulfilled desires that keep us coming back. The sooner we realize the importance of these desires and manifest them satisfactorily, the sooner we stop having to come back here. So I asked, well, Sri Yukteswar, by the way, I don't write that whole thing out every time. I call him S.Y. Sai. I like being human. Yes, it is hard sometimes, yet at this point in my life, I, Rebecca, find far more pleasure than pain. I love dancing. I love making love. I love wine and chocolate. I love being the age that I am and being a spiritual teacher. I love the technology that's available today. I love touch. I love my audience of students who follow my teachings. I love pouring out love from the Divine Mother to people. I love giving out blessings. I love much about this human state that I find myself gloriously ensconced in. And Sri Yukteswar, always ready with an answer. By the way, if you have a question for him, put it in the comment section and I'll ask him to give some guidance and make another video for you. So he says to me, yes, Rebecca, you do love the place you have evolved to in your humanity. Yet, as you came into this incarnation, the very first experience you had was pain. You were born in a bedpan, amidst the stink of feces with no loving hands to greet you. He is referring to my birth. When my mother gave birth to me, they gave her an enema, as they sometimes do, and then they left her on the bedpan, and I came out along with everything else, and there I am. My first experience is hitting my face on a cold metal bedpan and being enveloped in feces. So he continues, by the way, I've done energy healing work to get myself clear of my stinky birth. So Sri Yukteswar continues, yes, you were taken and cleaned up, but even the nurse who took you felt repulsion at the excrement that covered your tiny body. You struggled so hard to nurse from the breast of your mother, and yet you could get nothing out. My mother had no milk. Your childhood was very poor, and you often did not know where your next meal would come from. This is true. My father was a minister and a very poor one. As a teen, you felt rejected by your peers as you were not allowed to dress like them, not allowed to go to dances, not allowed to go to movies, or do any of the activities the other kids did. In my religion, everything was a sin. Having fun was a sin. Well, not really, but dancing or any of the fun stuff I love and adore to do now were a sin. So moving into adulthood, you were never emotionally fulfilled in any relationship. Talking about my marriages and perhaps not choosing wisely. So beloved Rebecca, you have evolved into being able to experience great pleasure in this life. And so that is the end of this message from Sri Yukteswar. So leave some comments about what you'd like to know about that he's willing to talk about. I will tell you this, when Sri Yukteswar first came to me and asked me to bring messages from him, I was astounded because in reading about him in Yogananda's book, I found him to be rather stern. And I am the opposite of stern, and I am the opposite of being so holy you're no freaking earthly good. I am here to bring sexuality and spirituality and observing the pleasures of being human in harmony. So he said, well, you're perfect, because it is true that I taught rather sternly, and it is time now to bring a more evolved message. This is Rebecca Marina Messenger. If you like this kind of information, subscribe to my channel. Tell me what you'd like to know about. You know, the spirit world will tell you anything. If you watch the first video I made about Sri Yukteswar, he gives a very nice way to more fully connect when you're getting a teaching. Have a wonderful day. I love you. I love to love. And I'll be back very soon.